The Gentleman's Club.
So you got banged by 3 Navy SEALs.
I have only one comment to say about that. Thank you for your service.
Welcome to the show. I am that Chris Gore. This is PodCRASH, and this is our live show from IOWest. You're about to hear me crash a show called The Gentleman's Club, hosted by Caleb Bacon, and you will hear guests Nicki Hunter, you will hear Jordan Harbinger from the Pickup Podcast, and maybe some surprise special guests. The audio quality on the show is it varies, but it's a live show. You're used to that. I want to tell you about another live show that's actually this Saturday at IOWest. I'll be crashing a podcast called Proudly Resents, hosted by Adam Spiegelman. We're going to be talking about this is a show. Adam Spiegelman's show is the show where you talk about like bad movies or guilty movie pleasures. We're going to be talking about the movie Heart Beeps. With Andy Kaufman and Bernadette Peters. And we'll have some special guests for that show, including Tony Clifton and Jenna Bush, who is sitting here next to me right at this moment.
Hello.
What's that sound check that you said? You have a really interesting sound check that you'll do for this. You got to do the sound check.
Okay, it's my favorite Shakespearean curse. The devil damn thee black, thou cream-faced loon.
I love that, but also it sounds like I'd like to order that somewhere.
Seriously, wouldn't you?
I would like to order that because it sounds delicious.
It is delicious.
So, Jenna, you're going to be on the show this week. We're watching Heart Beeps together, and then we're going to discuss it. And there are going to be some other special guests on the show, not just Tony Clifton and yourself. It's going to be great. It's actually this Saturday at IOWest. That's 6366 Hollywood Boulevard. It shows at 8 o'clock. I would get there early, get a few drinks in the bar. Show starts at 8 o'clock sharp. And by 8 o'clock, I mean sharp, I mean like maybe 8:05.
Be drunk.
Yeah, definitely have a few drinks. And then you can get information at it's ioimprov.com/west. You can get tickets there. It's this Saturday, September 22nd, IOWest 6366 Hollywood Boulevard. We're going to be there.
Come and hang out with us. There'll be geekiness.
There'll be discussion of Heart Beeps, which it's so weird because you look at Heart Beeps and just to give you a little taste, it looks like it's a little steampunk.
It looks a little steampunk, and I kind of love that.
I kind of love it's a weird. It's sort of steampunk by way of it looks pretty bad. Let's be honest.
Oh, but doesn't that make it wonderful?
I can't wait for us to talk about this. And then also just a couple of other plugs. The same night, Saturday, September 22nd, you can also see Comic Book Live at 10:30. That's my buddy Patrick Ian Moore and company. We're going to be doing Avengers Reassemble, which is a sequel to The Avengers. It's an improv comedy. We improv a comic book live on stage. I'm part of that group. You can get more information at ioimprov.com/west. Also, I am part of the Los Angeles Podcast Festival. I will be there October 12th through the 14th. It's in Santa Monica. I'm going to say it's Podcastapalooza. That's what I'm going to rename it. And you can get information at lapodfest.com. I'm moderating a panel on how to market your podcast. I'm also appearing on several different podcasts and other panels as well.
That's kind of awesome.
And I think you should be there, Jenna Bush. I think you should actually come to the LA.
I should be there too. I do podcasts.
Well, the Los Angeles Podcast Festival is actually put on by the guys behind Comedy Film Nerds. That's Graham Elwood and Chris Mancini. They have a great podcast called Comedy Film Nerds, which I have appeared on. And really, they put together what is a service to people who are not just fans of podcasts, but people who work and create these podcasts and whatnot. So just a few final plugs before we get to our live show. We're having a PodCRASH video contest. If you sing the PodCRASH theme song, just sing it any way you want, and then end it with at some point. Just say there's just too many podcasts. You can email that to podcrashwiththatchrisgore@gmail.com with the subject line PodCRASH TV. We also have a YouTube channel now where there are videos. You can go to it's youtube.com/PodCRASH TV. You can see clips from live shows, and we're actually posting now episodes of the show. So if you're the kind of person who doesn't really subscribe to iTunes or Stitcher or any of the places that you can find the podcast, you can actually just sit there and keep a little window open of YouTube, and you can listen via YouTube, which is kind of fun, right?
Kind of awesome. You should subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. PodCRASH.
You're not cool.
Yeah, thank you, Jenna. Yeah,
you're welcome.
Yeah, so PodCRASH TV on YouTube, and then also our official site is podcrash.net, which is actually secretly a Tumblr. But the Tumblr is so long, it's like podcrashwiththatchrisgore.tumblr.com, which is an archive with all of our shows. So this is a long-winded introduction before we watch Heartbeeps, which we will talk about this Saturday, September 22nd, live at IOWest in Hollywood.
I'm excited for the badness.
Oh, it's going to be bad.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Okay, so here it is, PodCRASH live at IOWest. This was recorded in August, crashing Caleb Bacon's The Gentleman's Club with special. There's actually a kind of embarrassing special guest that joins me on the stage.
Well, doesn't that make it amazing?
I kind of feel like I'm the butt of humor, of jokes for all the episodes of my show.
Well, that's why we love it.
Okay, good. Okay, here it is, PodCRASH live at IOWest. Enjoy.
Sync that, folks. Welcome to IOWest. Welcome to PodCRASH. With that, Chris Gore, that's me. Thank you for coming out here on a Saturday night to see a podcast, which, let's think about that for a second. It's Saturday night. You have many entertainment choices, but you came here to IOWest to see a podcast being recorded. I thank you for that, and I feel sorry for the people who chose maybe on the Facebook invite. I want to say, you are missing out, folks, because this is going to be an awesome night. Now, for those of you who actually listen to PodCRASH, you know what the premise is. I'm a guest on a different podcast every week, but how does that work live? I mean, how am I supposed to do that? It's very simple. I will be offering you my commentary for the podcast that we're going to do, and when you hear this music, you'll hear something like this. Music, I'm going to leave the podcast and talk to you and tell you what I really think about how things are going on the show. Which is what I do in the actual podcast. But let's get right to it. The podcast that I'm going to be crashing is The Gentleman's Club, hosted by Caleb Bacon. Please give him a big round of applause. And let's start the show.
Magic Wand, chairman of the board of famous players everywhere, and you're listening to the Gentleman's Club. Check, preach, tabernacle. It's the only way we're gonna get in the action.
That's me dimming my own theme song, because let's do the show. Thank you all so much for coming out. I'm Caleb Bacon. This is Chris Gore. We're Gore and Bacon, apparently. It's are we a morning team now?
I think we could do a bad morning zoo, or we could be cops, investigators. I love Gore and Bacon. We were just talking about that.
Let's be bad morning cops.
Bad cops. We could be cops with a podcast. I think that would people would believe that. I think they would believe that.
Don't all cops have a podcast? I don't know how it works to be a cop, apparently. I
don't know, but there's a lot of different podcasts, and I love your podcast, I have to say. I mean, this is The Gentleman's Club. I'm immediately interested as someone who goes to gentlemen's clubs.
I have been to Gentleman's Club. I mean, the idea of my show is that it's a men's interest comedy podcast, so I basically talk to, well, it's LA, so you're going to have comedians on there, porn stars, and just sort of fun people like some of tonight's guests on the show.
I hope I fit into the fun people part.
Well, you've been on my show, so of course.
Well, that's true. I have been on your show. Yeah.
I can vouch for you.
Well, thank you. Yes, and I do enjoy the episodes where you interview adult film actresses.
So do I.
Those are among my favorites.
Now, like, people literally write to me and complain about those episodes. Like, why do you talk to porn stars? You just want to like look at them and watch them fuck. And not actually listen to them on the show, but no matter what, it's like I get to have porn stars to my apartment, and in Los Feliz, no, you can't come watch, but
I've been to that.
It works for me, even if people don't like the show.
I've been to your apartment. It's really well organized.
Thank you.
I have to say that you did a great job on your apartment, Caleb.
Thank you.
Cool.
You want to shoot?
Good. Look, I think women like a guy who's organized because I think it's like you can set up a good nest. And so I think that's attractive for a female if you're not a slob. I think that's a good thing, right? girls who like guys that alphabetize their DVDs? Because I'm one of those guys.
I've never felt less sexual energy in a room. Yeah, let's talk about nesting.
Yeah.
Because I have like a good egg section. It's
You have a good
for nesting.
for nesting.
There's a bird reference.
Now, so I appreciate you having me on your show and letting me crash it live here at IOWest.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me. Love the IOWest Theater. We have some excellent guests tonight, one of which has been on my podcast before, and one of which has not. Do we have to talk about some serious issues?
Let's talk about some serious issues. I assume being a guest on the show, you prepared some questions for me, because I see a piece of paper, and I know there's going to be some questions that'll be asked.
This is a spit out gum.
Okay.
If any audience member needs to spit some gum out, just come up here, rip off a little piece.
Sure.
That'd actually be pretty rude, audience. But
Don't do that.
Now, I'm not like a huge gentleman's club attendee, strip clubs for the layman. Now, where do you fit in with that?
I like Jumbo's Clown Room. There's no cover charge. It's down the street. I've been there many times. I know it's one of those places where I feel dirty sometimes going to a strip club, because I'm thinking, like, I don't want to give you $20 unless I know it's going towards your college. You know, then I feel good about myself.
She's not going to graduate, though. She's taking classes. That's different than actually getting a degree.
But in the back of her mind, she's not thinking about you. She's thinking about, I got to get my laundry done. I need some money for this thing, or I got to pay for college, or I got to do. They're not into you. They're into the dollars in your pocket.
Now, a few morally flexible audience members clapped when Chris said Jumbo's Clown Room. Do people in this room know what Jumbo's is?
I love that place because it's
a clown-themed strip club where the girls can't actually take their clothes off.
Right, but see, that's what's great about
Obviously.
If, as has happened to me, you're dating someone that doesn't like that you like to go to strip clubs, not that I do, I can go there and say, I did not see any naked women tonight. Not one, zero. So, yeah.
The girls there put on a good show. Like, I saw this, she was Asian, which I don't know what doesn't have to do anything with it.
Right. Was she Asian? Or just...
that was racist.
Testing out the sound
I was applauding her ethnicity and the fact that Asians can do splits on the ceiling while holding onto the pole.
So after this show, we're going to be heading down to Jumbo's Clown Room, and we're going to...
No cover. Super Saturdays at Jumbo's. Why are we here?
We are going to... we should be at Jumbo's.
It's so close.
The first show at IOWest is not going well. I know, I thought that having Caleb on, because I've been on a show before, and I'm thinking, like, all right, he's going to be great. He's going to have these prepared questions for me, and we went back and forth quite a bit. Like, all right, do some questions. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about that. And I don't know. I really feel like he might be letting me down. I hope he doesn't overhear this. Anyways. Hey, it's great to be back on your show, Caleb. This is awesome.
Where did you just go? I have no idea what just happened.
Yeah.
Let's Chris.
Yeah.
Enough with the fucking around.
Okay.
Let's not fuck around. Let's bring out our first guest of the night, all the way from the San Fernando Valley.
Yeah.
She is a legend in pornography, a longtime Playboy radio host, Nicki Hunter. Going in for a hug.
Nicki, you can sit. I've got a chair right here. It's right next to me. We have to share the microphone, so yeah.
For the home audience, they're real.
I've done this before.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Nicki Hunter.
Thank you for saving the show.
I'm here. I don't know how much saving I can do, but let's have some fun. Gentlemen's Club, huh?
That's right.
Is that like do I have to do a pledge or something? Is there like a hazing?
Oh, this is the hazing after the show.
Oh.
Can you, now you do some feature dancing, which is a fancy word for...
Stripping.
Well, but when you're a star and you strip, you get paid extra money to only work like 20 minutes a night.
No, 20 minutes a night for each show. I'm actually doing my very first feature dance gig in 5 years. Next week. I'm going to be in Florida, so it'll be
Road
fun.
trip.
Yeah, well, fly trip.
Now, what can people expect from you feature dancing? First time in 5 years, so you probably do a trip on your way up to the stage. Something
I'm
like that.
a little nervous. Don't jinx me like that, man. Knock on wood. Take it back.
Like I said, you're gonna walk up to the stage effortlessly, like a ballerina.
Right, I'm gonna make lots of money. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So, it's at my own hometown club. So I'm expecting a lot of friends and family, and even some old high school buddies are going to be there.
So friends and family are going to be coming to see you at your performance. How does that? What do you think?
Extended family. So,
But this is, I actually know you from the geek world because I've been to your cosplay karaoke,
yes.
and I also have been a watcher of your show, Nicki's Geekgasm, because you're a huge geek, so I'm shocked about this stuff.
Right. I got started in the porn world, which, by the way, we do okay on the mic. And then I was able to let my geek side blossom with Nicki's Geekgasm and cosplay karaoke at the Nerdist Theater in Meltdown, as well as doing the comic book live show in just a few hours. So you guys are all sticking around, right? Yeah.
And Nicki, you literally go to Comic-Con not just to beat up nerds, because like that's a good time.
I just want to prove it wrong that geeky girls do exist. That they don't, we do exist and we have a lot of fun with it. And I do a lot of cosplay, right? Thank you, everybody.
So what
ladies.
are some of the outfits you wear in terms of your cosplay?
I started off with Black Widow, and I was in full body latex, and I think that black latex, and that was fun. Is that when we first met?
No, I like looking at I follow you on Twitter, and so I love seeing your pictures of your outfits. They're cool. I like them. Do you wear? I mean, I have to ask you about those because I have met girls that wear outfits like that. Does that wearing of the outfits extend into, your private life in the bedroom? Because that would be awesome.
I think what Chris is trying to say is, do you have sex as Black Widow?
It's full body latex. I have to take it off first.
Because that would be awesome. That's all I just want to make that clear.
Nothing kills a mood like having to take off a latex suit, which takes 2 hours, right?
No. Lots of body lube. It's a lot of fun. I could put you in latex one night.
Body lube?
Yes. It's like getting greased up from
Okay.
neck to toe, and you have to slide into it literally. Going to the bathroom's a bitch.
I feel weird about that.
You can wear it.
Just body lube.
Yes. Slippy and
And
slimy.
the sounds of the silent audience means they feel weird about it too. So stop picturing me in body lube.
If I could just ask the obvious question, I mean, if you look on the internet, there's every kind of fetish imaginable, every kind. Why is there not girls putting on latex with lube as a series of videos? Because I think that would be very popular with at least one person on stage.
Chris. I mean, yes, there is. Any sort of porn you want to watch, it's definitely on the internet. Come on.
Thank you. That's all I have to say. Thank you. That's great. I love that.
Now, speaking of dressing up, you have been in a lot of porn parodies.
I've been in Avatar, a couple other porn parodies.
The parody. The Avatar.
Yes, Avatar XXX, sorry.
You still were blue.
I was blue. I played Sigourney Weaver's character.
It's the #1 grossing movie of all time, parodied.
Is it? I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, Chris is a movie
It was a
guy.
lot of fun. And it was in 3D, so you could suck the cock with me. Thank you.
Do I have to?
I don't know how it would feel to you guys out there when you see like the cock flying at you and you're like pointed towards the camera. And I'm like, are you sure? Most of the time, there's guys watching these things.
Are you fishing that motion?
They had me jerking off towards the camera. It was really.
That's the worst hand job I've ever seen. No, seriously.
All cupping, and I got it in there.
So where does the money shot go? Towards the camera?
Kinda, yeah. I don't know. People in 3D, I'd want a duck.
Yeah.
I'm not a cum dodger. So, but the guys.
That's right.
Swallow spit, ladies.
Now, you were also in the Rocky Horror porn parody.
Yes, I was.
Now, what is the cute title of that one?
It's Rocky Horror Triple X.
They're creative on these titles. It's just they add triple X, or they also add "this ain't," like
Right.
"this ain't the Brady Bunch" or something.
Cosby Show.
Right. This ain't the Cosby Show. This ain't Batman. This
Golden
ain't.
Girls. They did it.
I saw that one, and that was not the Golden Girls. And that was the best part about it. Now, Chris, you've viewed some adult stuff before. What's your favorite porn parody?
Absolutely not. No, of course. Here's what I find about the porn parodies. I like adult material as much as anyone out there who uses it responsibly. I don't like.
Who wants to see a latex body lube video?
I just don't like. What really distracts me from porn is grammatical errors. Like when you see something like "hot wife carves black cock," I'm thinking, what? There's a typo there. There's no carving of black cock. And then also I think like, every other video is titled "Fill in the name of the porn star can't get enough cock." Is there a cock shortage in LA? I just want to ask.
No, there's plenty to go around, Chris.
So I just like your standard issue porn. The porn parodies actually, and I did watch your Avatar performance, Nicki.
3D?
Bravo. But I think what I find distracting about the porn parodies is they're so good these days. The makeup effects, the digital effects, the Batman one. I've seen the Batman one, which is based on the '60s Batman TV show. It's disturbing because the casting is so good. It's Batman and Robin from the old '60s Batman TV show getting blown and double teaming a chick, and it's ruined my childhood.
Batman played by Dale DeBone. We come up with some really creative porn names, I tell you what.
How do you know that's not his real name?
It's not his real name.
What if his last name was DeBone? That's how we knew he had to be in porn. It was his calling.
I was born this way.
Now Chris is like a huge Batman fan, for people who don't know. Like, it's kind of weird.
You have a Twitter of Batman, right?
Yeah, Bat Chris Gore. It's just Batman stuff that I tweet. Why? Where are you leading with this, Caleb?
This is where your questions come in.
So when you watched the Batman parody, did you come at the opening credits? Or
You're gonna find this very shocking. I could not jerk off to that. It was too precious. It was too bright. It was just like I can't. I mean, first of all, it's weird because I watched the old show and I remember like, oh my god, hello Batgirl, Catwoman. I mean, like those outfits were incredible, right? Like, I mean, I could. The funny thing is, I could jerk off to the actual Batman, but not the Batman porn. Okay, now I think I've said too much.
But when you watched Nicki's film Avatar, could you jerk off with 3D glasses?
I find it difficult.
It's actually protective eyewear too, just in case you miss.
Yes, because oddly, I am a cum dodger, so that is, yeah. So things have been spiced up quite a bit by Nicki's performance here. It's odd to be sitting next to her, having masturbated to her videos. So I don't know exactly how the rest of this is going to go, but I really appreciate that Nicki showed up. I can't, I don't know. This is going to be it. Yeah.
The Gentleman's Club.
Now, Chris, this is kind of an awkward question, and I know there's an audience here, and your good friend Nicki Hunter's here, but have you ever jerked off to one of her porns?
Absolutely not. No, it's weird because when you know someone that kind of like, I think of her as like a sister, I would never jerk off to my sister.
That's very kinky.
So, no, I've actually never jerked off to one of her videos.
I believe you.
Okay, good, thanks. I appreciate
This
it.
is a beautiful woman right here who's been in some fine films. The Glee parody.
Yeah.
You were the Glee parody?
I don't even remember what movies I've done, so you're actually reminding me which parodies I've been in. But I did play Sue on that one.
Is there an IMDb for porn? Because I look up IMDb all the time to check if my favorite actors have appeared in certain...
IAFD.
IAFD.
The Internet's Adult Film Database. They have
I think FD's fire department. You may not know how acronyms work. FD is always fire department.
It's the film database. Internet's adult film database.
All right. What does XXX stand for? Tough guy.
Triple X rated.
All right.
What does it stand for, tough guy?
It stands for it's time to bring our next guest out here. Now, our next guest is literally one of my BFFs. He is a guy who is a professional dating coach, which is not bullshit, ladies in the audience. And he's a longtime Sirius XM host. He hosts the popular podcast, Pickup Podcast. And why am I listing all of his IAFD credits? Let's talk to Jordan Harbinger.
Come on the stage.
The Gentleman's Club.
Now, Jordan, I have to share a mic.
Can I get a little more light in my face? That would help. A little more directly in my eyeballs.
That's just in case you're a cum dodger. You can see the cum jetting right through your face, and you can get out of the way quick.
If you see anyone going like this,
I apologize for being late. I'm squeezing out of my latex bodysuit. Ever. So proud.
You gotta get a special body butter. Chris will watch your video. So, Jordan, your day job is okay. You used to be a Wall Street lawyer, and you became a dating coach. And explain to people what that is.
Well, essentially, we teach. My company's called The Art of Charm. We teach guys how to meet and attract women and create deep connections with them. So it's not like pickup artist crap like you see on TV. Nobody's wearing free hats. Nobody's got weird goggles or anything. Not to name names, but there's a lot of
Chris Gore,
right?
I call him Pimp Daddy.
The goggles come in handy if you're a cum dodger.
Don't want any access.
Squirt Dodger.
Sure, squirt dodger too. So wait a sec. So you're not a pickup artist guy, but if you were, what would be some good tips?
If I were a pickup artist guy.
Yeah, what kind of things do those guys do?
The best tip you can have is also the worst advice ever, right? Which is be yourself or be confident. Because be confident is kind of like saying be taller.
I don't think be yourself is going to work for me. What other advice do you have?
Plan B.
Yeah, plan B.
Honestly, put the best version of yourself forward, right? So like, there's a Chris Rock thing. It's like everyone needs a representative. Totally true, right? But the best.
By the way, worst Chris Rock impression I've ever heard.
Did you say advice number 1, be yourself, and advice number 2, if you can't be yourself, fake it?
Like fake.
Second worst Chris Rock impression I've ever heard.
Exactly. I mean, honestly, you can't fake being yourself, right? But what we say when we say be yourself is people are like, hey, just be yourself. You would tell that to your best male friend.
What if you're an asshole?
But what that means, well, that'd probably get you further than what most guys do, which is go get a new haircut, buy some sweater, get some flowers, plan something fancy that you would never do on your own. And then you meet up and it's all awkward and tense because you're both way out of your comfort zone. So instead, just be like, okay, listen, let's go hiking. I do that every Sunday. Why don't you join me? That's much more comfortable than going to some fancy schmancy French restaurant with your hair gel dripping in your face.
What if you're not someone who goes hiking or does any kind of activity outside?
Generally, just watches DVDs all day.
Just for those people who are like that.
Really big forearm.
Right. There's only so much that can be done if you're just inside watching DVDs all. Some people just aren't even fit for the program, Chris. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
Well, let's talk about some common mistakes guys make. Because, for example, I hear some people don't actually like to go outside and do stuff.
Apparently that's true. Honestly, if you can't make it outside or do something even remotely interesting, you gotta be outdoors all the time. You know, that's fine. One of we actually have an iPhone app that has a bunch of date ideas, and it's free. And some of the date ideas.
What's the name of the app?
The name of the app is The Art of Charm. If you just search for The Art of Charm on the iPhone, it's free. It's got a ton of date ideas, icebreakers, ways to create connection, texting things you can do that'll keep you connected with her if you just get her phone number and you need to sort of elongate that interaction. I know that's one of your industry terms, so stay away from that.
Elongate that interaction? That's a technical term?
That's one of her industry terms.
You can't add inches, sorry. Who's going to do that?
As much as we may try. And so, you know, a lot of the things that I like to do are go to Chinatown and find something weird to do, especially something weird to eat. Because in Chinatown, there's all
What do you consider weird to do? Because I have some suggestions for you after the show.
Let's get into it if you want. Honestly, if you go to Chinatown, you can eat really weird seafood and bugs and stuff, and it's kind of wild. And if she's cool,
Chicks like bugs. We've all seen wall bugs. Wall bugs is huge.
It really depends. I mean, if you're trying to screen a girl's girlfriend material, somebody's going to be a good fit for you and all your like weird proclivities. You're going to want to screen somebody in who's cool with that stuff.
Have you listened to my podcast? Is that what you're implying?
A little bit.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Now, Chris, you've been on Jordan's podcast.
Yeah.
And then in turn, as a PodCRASH, who's on it?
This is like the inception of podcasts right now. This is because, Jordan's on your podcast, I'm on yours. This is amazing.
And Nicki jerks off guys like this in 3D. Just for the listener at home, that's sort of like a weird bazooka motion.
You don't know what I've been doing, man. You don't know where these hands have been.
No, I do. I've seen your work. I know exactly where your hands have been. And I had to watch at least 6 to 8 hours to prepare for the show.
They're not dodging cum, I can tell you that.
And by the way, if you are a cum dodger, you're terrible at it. That's okay. You own what you do. But when Chris was on Jordan's show and this Inception sort of podcast world, you guys talked a lot about dating. Chris is good with the ladies. I don't know if people know this, but
No, I'm not that good.
you literally had sex with upwards of 3.5 women.
Right. Yeah, over the last 5 years. But, yeah. Yeah, no, but I was on the podcast. I'm like, look, I think I'm good at the beginning of dating. When you're just dating, I can be good at that part. It's the continuing to date that is the thing that I am lacking. So
He didn't quit it. That's what
yeah. Well, no, I mean
That's your
not
advice.
necessarily. No, it's not. I don't have advice, but on that, I just it's the sort of keeping that going.
Now, I'd like to hear from Nicki. What's the best pickup line that makes people have sex with them immediately?
Or do any pickup lines.
You want me to give that to you right now, or are you going to
So? Don't judge me. Just do it. I'm trying to host.
Pickup lines. I like your advice of just be yourself. I hate pickup lines like, "Hey, baby, did it hurt?" Like, what? When you fell down from heaven? It's like, oh no, I don't. I hate.
Nicki was in This Is Not Heaven, Triple X. The guy that played God, he was sort of. As well, but.
More parodies. I'm writing this down. No, I guess I like true. I want to see someone be real. If you tell me your flaws right off the bat, I feel like you're being honest and a little humor and if you're talented in something, I can respect that. So I guess it's no pickup line, man.
Jordan, is she lying? You're supposed to know this stuff.
Yeah, I feel like with your program, I mean, you get to give guys advice, and tell them what works and it doesn't work.
Right, just to be super clear, be yourself isn't really advice, right? That's just something that people say that doesn't mean anything.
They tell you that on Sesame Street to be yourself. So
It means very little after that age.
Yeah.
So what that really entails is a whole huge process of guys getting rid of insecurities and blind spots. And what that means is, what is it that you're doing that's different when you're around people that you're attracted to or people that are outside your comfort zone that you're not doing with your best friends? Because the end goal is to talk to women that you're attracted to, like your best friends that you've known for years, but to do that before some magical point in time when you've already started dating. If you can do that in the first 5-20 minutes, you're going to create a really deep, genuine connection with somebody. The trick is feeling confident enough, building the confidence, building the skill set to be that open and that authentic in the beginning. Because you say you like true, Nicki, and that's for sure accurate. I'm sure you do. The problem is there's a difference between somebody going, I'm a premature ejaculator, and you going, oh, that's not attractive, and somebody else just being like, wow, I feel really out of place, and you're like, oh my god, me too.
I wouldn't use that as your first pickup line. I would not be your first pickup line.
Yeah, exactly. But if it was...
Okay, so that's relationships. How do you pick up a stripper specifically over a jumbo Slater?
Yeah, how?
Honestly, the best thing to do in that situation, just don't be a customer in the first place. Because as soon as you get, and tell me if I'm right, because you do your feature dancing, right? I mean, I know very little about that. My first feature dance was last week. So I'm kind of new, but honestly, if you go into a strip club and you're trying to meet the girls there and you're throwing cash down, unless it's a ton, and then they're going to use that, a lot of girls will use you for your money, you're more valuable as a customer than you are as some guy who just walked in off the street, right?
So, first of all, this sounds pretty easy. The advice is don't give strippers money.
Exactly.
I can do that. I can totally do that. Thank you, Jordan.
You're gonna have to go in on a slow night where there's not a whole lot of other customers, maintain their attention in some way, get them attracted by being fun, flirtatious, which you already are, you know, but you gotta maintain their attention without actually buying it.
So when she says, "Hey, honey, how about a lap dance?" Which hopefully her voice isn't that deep. What do you
face that hairy.
At Jumbo's on a Tuesday afternoon shift. The best thing at home for somebody to make it hail. Just shoot quarters on stage. But all right, so when she says, "How about a lap dance?" in a sexy voice, what would you say to that?
I mean, honestly, one of the things, and I don't run around strip clubs trying to pull girls out of there, so I'm just going by what I've tested in Vegas for fun.
Remember we were in Vegas together? Inside joke.
Yeah.
It's not a joke because nobody's laughing. But I'm going to give the mic back to Joe.
Yeah, I do remember that, and what seemed to be working there was honestly not being a customer, and when they ask you for a lap dance, you can say, "Actually, I'm just here on business, I'm not really doing that," or "I don't do lap dances," and then they're like, "Wait a minute, what the hell are you doing here?" That gives you a chance to kind of explain, "Well, I actually don't really, I'm doing this, I'm here with clients, that's what I was doing in Vegas, I was there with clients," so I was like, "Listen, I'm not really doing that, I'm just hosting here with clients," and they're like, "Oh." So what that signals is, okay, you're here on business, I'm at work too, so if I need a break, and I don't want somebody who's going to be creepy and gross, I can come sit next to you and chill and talk. And it's not going to be weird that I don't need an agenda. Your agenda is for other people to have fun, so I don't need to worry about it. That made her really comfortable, and we ended up hitting it off.
Let's check in with Nicki. What do you think about all that?
I'm just curious if it's a good idea to date strippers in the beginning.
Definitely not. Not a chance. I would never recommend it at all. I didn't say anything about dating.
I'm going to admit something. I actually went out on dates with 2 strippers from Jumbo's. This is a true story. When I was living in Los Feliz, I lived really close to Jumbo's. I went down there, and I kind of did a little bit of the thing of like with Jordan. I just would not pay for dances, which didn't like that. Not that I wanted one, but I really didn't want one. I just felt really creepy about it. So I got one of the girls' numbers. We went out on one date. It was awful because at the end of the day, what I just kept thinking was, like, I'm dating this stripper. What am I? That's her thing, and she just was not the brightest bulb in the bunch. We just did not have a whole lot to connect with, although I do enjoy taking my clothes off, so that was the only connection that we had.
Gentlemen's Club.
Now, Nicki, are some strippers, like, to use an analogy, are they bright bulbs? Or what would you say? Because you're pretty smart, but you're not much of a stripper so much.
It's where I got my beginnings, believe it or not.
Like the minor leagues.
Oh, that was I was craving to learn sensuality, so I decided to strip in the very beginning before getting into the pornographic industry.
I like how you said the full thing. If you said porn, people would have been like, "What is that a word?" Oh, pornographic, right? That's
Industry, right? We're professional. It's a business.
Sure.
But a lot of times it's just kind of an eclectic group that you run into. Not all of them are very bright, especially when they're like, make sure the house is completely dark, and then you're really worried about what's going on stage.
But you have like a diverse career. I mean, you do the Geekasm thing, that show. You do the cosplay karaoke. You've been in adult films that require acting and even makeup and special effects, and the strangest hand jobs I've ever seen.
This one. No, I just did it because I was curious, and I wanted to use it as a springboard to other things, which I've definitely found my loves in life, and I love my geeky stuff, so.
What's your most geekiest guilty pleasure that even you are like, I can't even believe I like that?
Farscape.
Yeah.
Farscape.
One person up top. What
Thank
is
you.
This? Is it like farmland?
No, Farscape. It's a sci-fi show. That was
You thinking Netscape Navigator?
No.
That's pretty geeky.
I love Farscape. It's kind of like that for the sci-fi lovers of everything sci-fi. You just gotta. When I first saw it, I'm like, what are they wearing? The costumes are pretty funny looking in the beginning, but as you get into the storyline, it's great.
Okay, Chris, do you actually watch this?
Farscape.
Do I watch Farscape? No, it's sort of not in the realm of the stuff that I watch. But I like Nicki's work actually quite a bit.
Thank you.
That's in the realm of stuff that I like.
Now, this is the part of the show where now Jordan doesn't specialize in pickup, which I think is you look at that as more like outcome oriented, like I'm gonna go out and crush some ass. Which, by the way, you should never say that. Ladies do not like that at all. But I know a lot of what Jordan teaches is like going out and have a good time. But even with that, pick up Nicki.
Oh.
Ready and go? Yeah. I mean, honestly, the best part about this is that it's completely fucking impossible right now. However,
No, really, go. It's okay.
yeah. No thanks. But walking straight into this one, I think the best thing in this situation was just honestly sitting next to you in the beginning and chatting a little bit, because otherwise I was a little worried when I came up here that this type of thing would happen, but that she would be hostile about it and be like, I don't believe in any of this crap, and I've seen your shit and it's garbage. And I was like, that wouldn't be so Caleb, but he might not have full control. That might be up to this guy over here, and I don't know what he's got up his sleeve.
Okay, pick up Chris.
I don't even know.
It'd be a lot easier.
I think so.
trust me.
I don't know enough about comic books to make that happen.
You just go, hey, you want to come to my apartment and watch a Batman DVD?
Yes.
Under my bat blanket. Now, Chris has done well with Pretty Girls, and I literally know this for a fact. Because...
Wait a second. No, I haven't. What the fuck is he thinking?
The Gentleman's Club.
So I want to let you guys into what I'm thinking. And we have one special surprise guest, Chris's ex-girlfriend, Janelle. Come on up, Janelle.
Really? So we can all just move over.
When was the last
right,
time you talked to Janelle, Chris?
Hey Janelle, how's it going?
Awkward.
We hugged.
I was feeling awkward a second ago when you put me on the spot, but you just totally, you win. You win right now.
Yeah, so I haven't seen you in a while. How are you? Do you have any, like, okay, so Jordan, like, the opposite of the pickup is, like, when you're, like, how do you deal with a situation like this?
You're so on your own right now, dude. It's not even funny. You are on your own.
Yeah. I've got a reverse boner. I'm embarrassed.
Inverted erection. You should see a doctor, man. That's terrible.
Janelle, would you like to say anything to Chris?
Too bad we dated?
No, first of all, we had fun hanging out. We had fun hanging out a lot. We did have fun hanging out. Occasionally, we'd have sex too.
Yeah.
That was part of our. This is embarrassing. I can't believe you pulled this.
Chris has never been at a loss for words since 1987 when somebody stole his Batman comic.
Right, yes. No, it's just weird to have Janelle here because it ended a little badly.
That would be an understatement.
Yes, it would be an understatement.
Janelle, I'm told things went terribly.
Yeah.
But you guys did reconnect pretty recently.
Dirty laundry.
You were on Chris's Crash Cast when he was on Jordan's show to talk about that, and so you had some kind of strong opinions of what Jordan does.
I'm very opinionated. It's true.
I wanted to have Janelle on to kind of contrast stuff that Jordan said because I do think that there is, and I hope that everyone's watching when I say this. I think that females have a point of view.
Thanks for the support.
And sometimes I like to hear it.
So I think what Chris is saying is, Janelle, can you pick up Jordan? Okay, well, but you have a point of view, I'm told. Yeah.
I do, but you have to give me like something to go on. I just like start spewing stuff out of nowhere.
Point of view of guys learning how to pick up girls, is that something that should be always that way, or maybe should girls pick up guys from time to time?
Thank you.
Yeah, they should. Yeah, they should.
You can say that audibly into the microphone.
Makes it easier for us.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that'd be great. The problem is there's a gender role thing there. Like, women can approach men, but honestly, do you prefer to do that, or do you prefer to have a guy man up and do it?
I honestly don't really like most of the men that try to talk to me. I feel like if there's someone I really like to talk to,
I talk to you.
them. Yeah, but that was weird.
Yeah, true.
What was Chris's move?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was my move? I want to remember what I did.
He stood at a porn party, right?
I was at a porn
And
party.
he had 2 beers, like he had a beer in each hand, and he just stared at me for a really long time.
Totally worked. Totally worked.
Good thing you slept with him. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, I pulled up immediately.
So, Jordan, what do you think of the hold 2 beers and stare creepily move?
I mean, I disagree, but scoreboard, obviously it worked. So I can't really judge that one. Not something I would throw down in class, though, at the art of charm. I don't think so. I can just picture you with like 2 cans of PBR, just like glazed over, just zoning out.
It was definitely PBR. Yeah, that's my style.
Or flat.
Well, yes, a light beer. A light beer.
Now, one of the things that Jordan specializes in, his company put out a book called How to Text Girls. It just focuses on texting, and the groans in the audience did something stuff their
Wait, but I want to ask. Before we get to that, I want to ask. Like, here's one thing that I've heard. Literally, the last several girls I've dated, they've always said this whole thing of like, you know, if you ever wanted to hook up with another girl, I'd be totally into that. And then it has never happened for every woman who's ever said that. Is that something, and this is a question for everyone up here, is that something chicks just say to kind of lead you on? Because, I mean, that it seems like that's something that they just sort of like throw out.
It's like a trap, right? They want to
It
see
is a
if you're
trap.
going to bite on that, and then when you do, they're like, I knew it.
Wait, you need to say it correctly. It's a trap.
It's a
But
trap.
that's, I'm just...
Yeah, I don't have the Harrison Ford.
But I think, girls,
That was good, though, by the
do
way.
you guys say that, like, I think, do you guys say that just to, like, lead a guy on, or do you actually engage in...
I don't think I've ever said that without meaning it.
What? I totally fucked up. I could have had a threesome. I totally fucked up. Oh my god. Oh, shit.
The Gentleman's Club.
All right, I'm back. We'll keep talking.
Do you think you and Chris would have ever had a threesome?
You know, I could tell a really awkward story about one of his friends trying to through. Yeah!
What?
It was a dude, and it didn't happen. Chris kind of shot it down. So I'm just saying.
One of my friends who was a dude. That's why that didn't happen.
So, Chris
Good
basically...
question. Hang on, wait a minute. When it comes to very first threesomes in a couple, should it be an extra guy or an extra girl?
I'm gonna say girl, just to throw it out there.
Why does it have to always be a girl first?
No, it could be whoever, right? I mean, it could be an entire couple. It could be in a couple in their entourage. I mean, you know.
What?
So, you're talking about fucking Turtle, Johnny Drama... Okay. That I understand.
But I mean, what I know about you, Janelle, like you are in some ways like a dude. It's like you like definitely go after like what you want. Like I'm sure you've done crazy stuff since we've been together. Like, you know.
Is this you trying to get me to tell you my Vegas story?
You should tell your Vegas story. Yeah,
I'll make it a short story. I went to Vegas for my birthday. I had a lot of fun. I went out and didn't meet anyone I wanted to talk to. Went outside the club and found some people. Ended up getting banked by 3 Navy SEAls. Wow.
Now,
I have only one comment to say about that. Thank you for your service.
The Gentlemen's Club.
So you got banged by 3 Navy SEALs. Did you let them go by rank? What a patriot. Now, are we talking the guys you got at Osama?
So, but I'd like to think so.
Oh, you go to the B team?
I don't think it was Team 6. I think maybe it was like Team 7.
Yeah, SEAL Team 69, which Nicki's been in that.
But they're still like the practice squad in a way.
Now, but with texting, if you're a Navy SEAL, you don't have to fucking do that shit, Jordan.
So wait, you have a
Apparently not. Apparently you just stand in an alleyway outside a club in Vegas and you're good. Yeah, Tux and Navy SEAL in an alleyway in Vegas.
You have like a book where you can, because I'm lazy and I like to stay indoors, like a lot of people. Thank you for your applause. So, like, you actually have a book where you could just, like, can I just cut and paste this stuff? Can I just get it digital?
Yeah, you can. I mean, that's super lazy. You should learn the principles in the book, but I see where you're coming from. The point of the book is not just some sort of magic crap to say to girls. The idea is a lot of guys get phone numbers from girls, and they don't turn into dates. And the reason is because there either wasn't enough time to generate a strong enough connection in the beginning, or a lot of time has passed, schedules get all screwed up, and you need to maintain that attraction or grow it a little bit for her to actually prioritize meeting up with you. So the idea behind it is to get her to meet up with you. It has nothing to do with fancy magic pickup lines or anything like that. Yeah, you can cut and paste it, but honestly, you don't need to.
I have a question for you. With texting, how long from the very first text till you send a picture of your dick?
That infinity. You should never send a picture of your
Wait a second, though. I want to know what the girls in the audience and here on stage think about, like, what if you find this book and realize that I seduced you by cutting and pasting text?
That's true. That's why you don't cut and paste.
Right, but I basically copied your text. I mean, I feel like if I'm using your method and they find out that I have a method, then it kind of blows it, right?
Maybe. I mean, it depends. If your method is be charming, confident, outgoing, and attractive, I think that your method is going to succeed regardless of whether or not you
Be a Navy SEAL. That's what I think.
That's a good method, too.
See, what about girls sending pictures of themselves to guys?
I love that. I love that a lot.
Yeah, of course. I mean, guys are obviously into that, and the fact is that a lot of girls don't necessarily want to do that because they feel like it might end up in the wrong hands, which is totally legitimate because it almost for sure will. No matter how cool that dude is, that picture is going straight to his buddies 5 seconds after.
Okay, so but wait a second. Here's one thing I like to do, and maybe the girls nowadays can comment and see if this might. I actually like to send cute photos to girls. Can you hear? Yeah, cute.
Like Batman.
Well, like just things that are cute, like
A puppy dog, Batman.
I could show you some stuff, like some of the things that I like to send to a girl. Like they're just cute photos. If we could dim the lights, you can kind of see some of these pictures that I like. If we could dim the lights in the house, just see some of these photos. Like that's like you could just sort of do like cartoon. These are like apps. It's Instagram. That's Instagram. This is you know sort of arty
Is that Brock?
or like that. Yeah. It's so we can do like that. Like that is a good one to send out. That one is pretty good. I think if you have a sense of humor, you can really get a girl's attention. Jordan, what do you think of that?
Honestly, the tuxedo one would have worked on your ex-girlfriend.
Well, that's it for this first IOWest live PodCRASH. I want to thank everybody here. I want to thank Jordan, Caleb, my ex-girlfriend, Janelle, Nicki Hunter. I want to thank everyone here at IOWest, Mike in the booth, Zay, where's she, my buddy Dustin, all my friends who showed up here. Thank you. We're going to be doing live shows here once a month. And I have one final thing, if you'll all join me in saying the thing I like to say at the very end of every episode of PodCRASH. Let's